and some of which I don't want to talk about yet. I'm like trying to get my daughters. I have like the teachers send home these like stacks of paperwork, which is, it's really impressive. Like really impressive. I'm like, I have more homework than my daughter does. Anyone else's teachers do Gosh. And I've gone through like most of it, but there's still stuff I have to go through. I'm trying to like get shit out of my way so I can talk to you guys. I didn't know my desk is, usually I'm pretty OCD and my desk is super clean. And right now it is not. I didn't realize that I had let it get so okay. That seems better. Cool. Have a good day. Yeah, you know, good morning. New York has been fantastic. New York has been exactly what I needed. And it was like, in a way I didn't know I needed it, if that makes sense. I was really stressed getting ready for the move because we did it in a way that we thought was going to be really easy. Like we thought, you know what? You know what the hardest part of moving is? Moving your stuff. So what if you don't move your stuff? What if you get new stuff? Like you sell your stuff and then you get new stuff. And I thought that was a great idea. It wasn't. Because new stuff is just as exhausting because you have to build it and you have to pay for it. And it's a lot of like, it's a lot. So I think that just moving in general is very stressful and it's just something you cannot get around. It's stressful. But what I will say, stressful. But what I will say, stressful. But what I will say, it's been really kind to us and the people here have been really kind. Thanks, Lex. And everything's been really great. Like we walk Juniper to school and that's been fun, and we go for like long walks at night, and I can definitely feel my team in a really beautiful way. I've also been reading a lot of books, like I said, and started to focus more on my meditative practice and connecting with my team on a deeper level. I noticed a lot of different entities that I hadn't met yet that were kind of the last few that I was working on in my book come in. And that was really cool because I felt they were I felt like they were saying, now you can handle it. Like things that were going on in Memphis were really stressful, and now you can handle us coming in and out and you kind of getting to know us temporarily and then writing it down, which was really cool. It also opened the door to an entirely new opportunity that I was not expecting, and it is exciting. I'm actually really excited about it, and I can't talk about it yet, but I will talk about it eventually, and it'll be good. Anyway, and I'm excited to chat about it eventually. Readings have been good. I'm excited to do, I'm reading with a shop here for the Kingston Night Market on the 28th, so in 2 days, and I'm super excited to read with them. And so I had to get a banner made, or like a kind of like a signage, like store signage, like for my little area, because like I'll be in a booth with them, and that was cool. It came out really cool. I'm happy with it. Let me know if you want to see it. I can grab it, but it's small. It's just like a little sign that just says Belterro, and I'm proud of it. But yeah, it's been good. There's been like some things that have been brought to my attention recently that hurt really bad. I found out some things about people who in my life I thought were friends, and it was really painful to find out what I found out. But the tears are conversation with my team. And it also reminded me of one of my first mentors, who was an avid Taoist, and I think about the way that they taught me, and the things. Wait, what's going on? Did I cut out? Am I cutting out? Someone said, I hope the Wi-Fi comes back. Am I cutting out? If I'm cutting out, tell me. I'll turn the Wi-Fi off. And just go and use my data. It has been. It's spotty. Okay, hold on. Okay, how's that? That should be better, because I'm not on Wi-Fi at all. Well, let's just give it a second and just like let it adjust for a second. Great. No? Yeah? We're good? Everything's better? Okay, great. And that is what is prompting me to do this live, is not to talk about the things that, not to talk about people and the things that they've done and the way that I've been hurt. Don't want to talk about that. Don't give a fuck about that. What I want to talk about is what I learned through the process, and very specifically how it can help you moving forward. That's it. Okay, so after having lots of conversations this week with some of the entities on my team, very specifically Lucifer, as you know, I have a close relationship with Lucifer, and Lucifer is and will always be the head of my practice. Yes, I work very closely with Leviathan. Yes. But the covenant I have with Lucifer is a covenant that can never be undone, and it can never be taken away from me, and it has nothing to do with other people. It only has to do with me and him. And what a lot of people don't realize about that covenant is that it's a covenant that goes both ways between he and I. And it has nothing to do with other people. People think that any position of like clergyhood or priesthood is something that they should be like promoting from a rooftop. Because the reality is, it is a position of service. But it's not just you in service of them. It's them with you in service of you. And that means that he has a covenant. He has a responsibility to guide me and help me through my own trials. And let me tell you something, I'm human. When things happen, I respond like a human. I respond with pain. I respond with tears. I respond with anger. I respond with joy if it's wonderful. You know, like there is something that happens with social media and parasocial relationships that the humanization, the dehumanization of the person on the other side of the screen. Hello. Hello, can you hear me? Do you see me? Tap, 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 tap. I'm a person. So just like you, I wake up and I have to take a shit. And I brush my teeth and I eat food and I drink coffee. Drinking coffee right now. And I am tired and I have to work and I have a child and I have to get her ready for school and pick her up from school. And by 8 o'clock, I'm tired. I'm a normal person with feelings and self-doubt and questions, and I'm curious, and I don't know everything. And especially as a psychic, I don't know everything. I am doing the best that I can. When you book a session with me and you are asking me questions, you are paying me to give you answers. Those answers are not guaranteed. Those answers are not to be taken as gospel. They are to be questioned. You should be questioning everything you get. And guess what? If I'm wrong or make an error, I deserve dignity and grace like any other human. You could reach out to me and say, this message didn't resonate with me. And I will say, as a businesswoman, I will refund you. And I wish you the best. That is how it should go. That is how grown adults should behave. I'm really tired of the continuous, toxic, tragic behavior on the internet. Like, especially on TikTok. My goal was and is to create a TikTok where people feel safe, where people feel seen. With that being said, I run a business. This is a business. I am a business. I'm a business. I'm a person, but I also run a business. That business puts food on the table for me and my daughter. Guess what? That's okay. My energy deserves to be compensated. Everyone's does. With that being said, I do a lot of things for free. I do a lot of things in service of just the occult, of just the infernal divine. I make meditation videos. I run a Patreon that is free. You are welcome to pay for it, but you do not have to. It is free. Weekly, I hold classes that are free. I go live right now. That is free. I make $40 a year from TikTok, pretty much. At that point, it's free. I make content for free. I do community service on behalf of your deities if something happens. I raise money for things and that charities. I give money of my own business that I barely have to charity. Like, I'm doing the best I can, but I am not perfect. But if you are looking for a predator, if you are looking for your apex predator that you want to villainize, I'm not it. Find someone else. I can assure you, I'm not it. But I do not and will not prove myself to anyone. That's not why I do this shit. I do this shit because I genuinely care. And that is something that can never be taken away from me. And that is why I'm having this live. Reminded, over the last 24 hours, I was reminded of a universal law that I live by. And that is the law of love. And I know it sounds cheesy, and I know that it sounds silly, and it sounds like I should have a sign behind my head that says, like, live, laugh, love. But this is gift that I was ever given by the infernal divine, whom of which I am wearing a sweatshirt bearing all of the sigils of the entities who have taught me wonderful things. But love, that was one of the greatest lessons I had ever learned. That it no hex, that no witchcraft can penetrate. Because it is a universal law. And not love in the sense of like, I love you. Like, you're my best friend. Because guess what? I love Diet Coke. I also love coffee. It's great. But that's not what I'm talking about when I talk about the universal law of love. That is something that is built inside of you. Inside of you. That is something that is built through wisdom, through experience, through life experience, through the alchemization of you and your practice and your craft. That is how you respond to other people's pain. How you respond to something that seems one way, but could very much be another. And you allow love to be the driving factor. That is not something you can just do or teach, but it is something that you have to find. It's not external, it's internal. It is not something you can do with a book that teaches you witchcraft. It is something that you find when you are in a situation that is life or death. Or you're in a situation where you're being hurt, or your rights are being taken away from you, or you're being oppressed, or you're being abused. And unfortunately, it is typically through the lack of love that you need to find it. You need to find it. It is loss. It is grief. And when you are faced with the love in those moments and you actively choose hate, I can assure you that's not evolution. That is not ascension. That is not progression. That is not powerful. It's not power either. I do the best I can. And I have my own reasons for why I do it. To anyone. What's up? What are you looking for?
Black folder.
Here.
Oh, thank you.
So, that is why I wanted to have this live. Because I want to share some of the things that Lucifer and I have talked about recently. And I've already started. This is that all of what I have just said was his reminder. But there's some other things that he reminded me of in regards to love and the love of self and understanding self-love and ego and their differences. Understanding the real reasons why you're doing something versus the narrative or the stories that you create in your mind that tell you why you're doing something and how to figure out the difference. There are so many different ways And some will tell you that there are certain ways and certain structures that you need to stay within. And others will tell you, you know, you'll get a lot of people that are like, I don't know, I'm just winging it. Some of these are students who are just beginning and just winging it are some of the strongest. And I think that there's good reason for that. There is a level of humility that they have naturally, authentically, genuinely, as they approach new opportunity. They don't know. Or they do know, but yet they still choose to approach it with a level of humility in order to potentially receive even just 1% on a topic that they already know. One of my favorite creators on this app teaches about tarot. I've been doing tarot for a very long time. You know, it only takes 10,000 hours to master a skill. I can assure you, I have been doing tarot longer than 10,000 hours. So I would consider myself mastering that skill. And yet, I also consider myself a permanent student. And so do I follow other creators who do and teach tarot? I do. And do I listen to what they have to say about every card and their perspective? I do. You know what else I do? I read every single book that comes with my tarot decks. Every single one. All the way through. Every single time. Don't believe me? Ask my husband, ask my friends, ask anyone who's seen me get a new tarot deck. Why do I do it? Because every single one of those books is going to offer me something new. And if I can gain 1% more, then it's worth it. And why do I do that? It is genuinely out of love for the craft, but it's also out of love for myself. Literally one of my best friends, she's in here right now, Corellia Gifts. Hello, my friend. If you don't know Kaylee, you should, and you should follow her, and you should follow Corellia Gifts and Goods. Like my soul like knows hers. It's so hard to explain, but like when we met, it was like, I don't know. I just know her. I don't know how, but we do. But we're different. Like we're very different people, like oil and water. And it's very interesting because I love being around her. But she's an incredible witch, incredible psychic. So human, so authentic, so fucking genuine, so down to earth, so real. Like what you are getting is real. Like she's a problem with you, she'll say it to your fucking face. Like she is the furthest thing from a coward. She is wonderful and human and vulnerable. And when she's feeling self-doubt, she fucking tells you. She'll make the whole room know that she's like, I don't fucking know what I'm doing. And like she's an example to me in many ways. And the reason why I'm bringing her up is because right now she's putting herself through an entire course of a priesthood course, and I'm telling her story, which she's gonna get mad at me for it, but it's fine. And there's this part of me that was like, when she told me she was doing it, I was like, why are you doing that? You already are. Like you already are all the things that make someone a good teacher, a good mentor, that would make an amazing priestess for any entity. But I didn't say that because she is choosing the harder path. She's making the harder choice. Even if she does that entire course and in the end goes, I did not need that. That was a complete waste of my time and money. She walked away with at least 1% more. And I know why she's doing it, because she and I do the same fucking thing. Because it's never enough. And what I wish she would understand is that in itself is a form of self-discipline, which is love, which is what she deserves, which is what we all deserve. But we also deserve to give it to other people, to give that same grace and patience and kindness and the opportunity for error to other people. That is how you extend real love. Nightmares. That's not it. Your friends should be able to make mistakes and come to you. And there should be space held for that. Boundaries should be set, of course. But love is a universal law. In other words, when it is enacted, when it is truly felt, when it is truly given, when it is truly understood and experienced, it can be incredibly painful. It can be incredibly exhausting. It can be incredibly beautiful. But it is also a choice. And typically the harder choice. I am the villain in a lot of people's stories, is what I've come to learn. And I think back on the people who have villainized me throughout my life and throughout my experience. And yet, I still hold space for them, and I don't know why. I don't know why. And I've asked Lucifer that this past week. And that's a lot of why I've been crying a lot over recent situations that have come up. Was because it triggered a lot of previous and past situations. And I thought, well, why? I don't understand. It's because you understand a universal law, something that is built into the matter within each person. It is the common denominator between humanity. It is what makes someone a Homo sapien. And then he reminded me of the book that I'm reading. And a Homo sapien represents someone who is aware that they are aware. That's what makes a Homo sapien. Someone who is aware that they are aware. Aware that it is aware. That's a gift. That is a gift. Not your clairsentience, not your claircognizance, not your psychic abilities. Those are things. The gift is consciousness. So if the gift is consciousness and the universal law is love, and you act on those two things, you understand that those two things are gifts. Everything else, your psychic abilities, your claircognizance, your clairvoyance, guess what? They develop. Another thing in my book that I'm reading right now, which if you're interested, I'm happy to post about it. Or like I'll share it with you at the end. Is he talks about mindfulness. He has a lot of things to say about meditation, but when he talks about mindfulness, he talks about how being mindful is simply just being present and being aware without judgment. And so when I am faced with what feels like the antithesis of love, the antithesis of awareness, when I am faced with hate and people trying to hurt me and my family, and people being mean or cruel to me, when I'm faced with that, I remember where that comes from. I have to remember that it comes from a lack of evolution, or a lack of understanding, or a lack of love, or a lack of awareness. And I'm not insulting anyone. I'm just simply telling it as it is. I am telling you what I learned. And in other words, what I'm saying is, when you are exposed to that, and this is another thing I learned not that long ago, is that the evolved soul will always find the unevolved to be a threat. In other words, it's not what you think. In other words, you will feel uncomfortable around someone who is unevolved. They will make you feel uncomfortable. They will try to make you feel uncomfortable. They will be hateful towards you. They will be mean towards you. They will say mean things about you. They'll be manipulative to you. They'll try to hurt you. And you're going to want to defend yourself. You're going to feel threatened and upset, and you're going to want to defend yourself, but you don't need to. I want to talk about magic for a minute and why I don't teach it. Witchcraft. The form of witchcraft I practice is just alchemy. I don't like to even consider myself a modern day witch. But alchemy requires the alchemization of the person. The witchcraft I like to partake of is inside of me. So I don't teach that. In some ways I do, actually. In some ways I do. I just don't offer it the way that people want it offered. But my witchcraft doesn't work unless I actively work on myself. And hexing people and hurting people intentionally is not how you work on yourself. It's not. I can assure you. You want to protect yourself? You want to set up protection all around you? Go for it. You want to know the best way to do it? Give a shit about yourself. Take care of yourself. Take care of your space. Work on yourself and put it towards your own fucking life. And see what happens. Put it towards your business. Put it towards your family. Put it towards yourself. I've been told that the reason I'm successful is because I like to drain it from other people. I have news for you. That's not it. Never in my fucking life. It's because all of the energy that could go towards you goes towards me. I put it towards myself. Most people are not even a second thought in my fucking mind. I have never done a single working on a single person from the internet. Never. No one has been worth that time from me. My time goes towards my team and my family and myself. And that's it. And those I love. And it is to take care of them. It is to support them. And is it selfish? Yeah. Because that's what you're supposed to do in this life. You're supposed to care about the two things that matter: consciousness and love. That's it. You want to hex someone? Go hex the fucking courts that killed a man on death row for no reason. You want to hex someone? Go hex those that are killing people for no fucking reason throughout the world. But what you're doing when you come from for someone like me, you're being a fucking bully. That's what you're doing. You are bullying another person just trying to fucking exist in a difficult and complicated world. You haven't caught on to what I'm talking about. There are people that have created secret little ways of trying to hurt me from behind. Don't worry, it hasn't worked. I am fine. And always will be, and always have been. But what makes me sad and why I have not been able to stop crying is because I know these people and I know that they are better than that. And that right there, that's what hurts me. Because I know who they are. And I know that they're good people. And I wish that they would grow the fuck up. And that they would use their ability to better their life, to strengthen their world around them, to go after those that are actually doing damage. Because I believe that everyone is innately good, even when they do bad things. I believe that everyone deserves a chance to change. Fucking idiot. 20-year-old me was a complete selfish asshole who didn't know left from right. But I was given opportunity over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Try again to do better. And that's amazing. Every time I fucked up, Lucifer has never said, I'm not proud of you. I don't think you've done enough. Every single time he has said to me, okay, what would you do different? What are you going to do different? How are you going to handle this? He's never given up on me, ever. Because Lucifer given up on me, ever. Because Lucifer doesn't give up on people. And if there is someone telling you that he does, they know very little about him and how intelligent he is and how loving he is. It is an honor to speak for him. And I barely do it. I speak of him. I speak about him. I speak with him. I speak beside him. But speak for him? I can count how many times I've done that on one hand. And every single time has been an honor that I honestly don't feel like I deserve. So if someone around you is speaking for him, I can assure you it's not what he has to say. And he is no problem to speak for himself. And all you have to do is go to him. I have never told a single soul that you need to come to me because I'm a high priestess of his. I'm a high priestess of his for myself. And for community. The way I serve him is through serving other people as best I can. And I try. And I do. Do you know how many students or people that have come to me and said, I can't afford this session, but I don't know what to do? Guess what? I work around it. It has never been all about money for me. I'd be living a very different life if it was. People will betray you. People will hurt you. People will stab you in the fucking back over and over and over and over and over again and smile in your fucking face. And it is an expression of their weakness, not yours. but do not let them tell you or do not let them convince you who you are. You stand in your sovereignty. You stand in your power. You do what you set out to do. Because guess what? When you die, it's not their fucking face that's standing there. Thank goodness. They weren't there when you came into this world. They won't be there when you leave. So if people hate you, then you're doing something right. Keep doing it. Don't stop. Keep fighting for yourself. Keep loving yourself. Keep doing the work. If your immediate thoughts is that someone is hurting you and you start getting paranoid and you start thinking that the world's against you and that people hate you and that this is happening and this is happening and you start to feel sorry for yourself, take a moment, recalibrate, get out of your own ego, and move forward. Focus on yourself. Focus on your practice. Focus on your craft. Focus on things that make you happy. Focus on your fucking family. Focus on your garden. Focus on anything other than that. Because that's just a waste of time. I can assure you. Everyone that takes this life just an ounce too seriously, how fucking valuable life is, how fleeting it is, how tomorrow you could not be here. And it's not because someone did a hex on you, it's because that's how life is. Going on 9 years ago, my grandfather got on the back of his motorcycle to come see me perform and never made it. Healthy, 62-year-old man died because he hit a pothole and his bike fell on him and crushed him. Friends of mine who have lost their children unexpectedly. Listen, it's so easy to say that someone did something because you know what that does? That gives you a story. We love a good story. It also gives you a reason why things are sucking. Oh, my business is tanking. Someone must have done something to me. Or your business is just tanking and you need to reevaluate. My kid is sick, so someone did something. My friend is sick, so someone did something. Or that's just fucking life. And you should take that energy and try to help them heal. Take that energy and try to do something good. Fuck. I saw on the news yesterday that there is a mosquito that is literally carrying a virus right now that like has no vaccine and no fucking like cure. And I was like, what the fuck? And I started to like tell my I was telling my husband, I was like, oh my god, like we need to start wearing bug spray because that shit's crazy. And then it kind of hit me, like, oh my god, I remember that like my uncle died of West Nile virus. Jesse, hi. Like, and I think it's not funny because like it's not funny that my uncle died of West Nile virus, but like when I think about it, I remember like when it happened, I remember like telling people, oh my god, I have a session in 5 minutes, I gotta go. But I remember telling people that like, yeah, my uncle died in West Nile virus and they laughed at me. And I was like, no, I'm dead serious. And they were like, where was he? Like, what country was he in? I was like, he was in New York. He was in Long Island, New York, and he got bit by a mosquito in his backyard and got West Nile virus and died. Like, Shit happens. Nobody hexed my uncle. Like, shit happens. Oy, oy, oy. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. I gotta go. I have a session with one of my favorite students who I adore very much. But anyways, I gotta go. So much love. Be well, be safe. I wanted to share this with you. It's been a really, really long, weird week. Hopefully I catch you in a session. Otherwise, just take care of yourself. Don't let people bring you down. Life's too short. Okay.